I am Chief Debe Ojukwu, a private legal practitioner based in Lagos, Nigeria.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you very much for having me. The name is Odimegwu Ojukwu. In difference, in obeisance to our patriarchs, on whose legacy we all stand. That's Odimegwu Ojukwu.
Sir Odimegwu Ojukwu, okay. All right.
And after him, his son was Chukuemeka Odimegwu Ojukwu. Yes. So that's how it goes.
Okay. First and foremost,
thank you very much for having me.
Okay, sir. First and foremost, Mazi, let me have your reaction on the recent attack that happened at Uzo 1 in Enugu, because I have had the privilege of talking with other Igbo leaders, and I sought your number before I was given your number yesterday night. Let us get your perspective on that attack that occurred, that took so many lives, which till this moment is being politicized by some people who do not want to accept the fact that a certain people from certain tribe attacked that innocent community.
Well, it's a very unfortunate thing that happened. But first of all, an introspection. The introspection stems from the fact that we seem to have vigilance. If that vigilance had been there, the attack wouldn't have been as devastating as it was. If you remember, one of the clearing calls during the war was for them to have come in that foray into the place and then kill that number of people was a very unfortunate thing. I think taking a cue from what the governor of Abia State is doing, I think we should all be very vigilant and make sure such a reoccurrence doesn't occur again. Then in slant with the political undertone of it, it's very unnecessary because our people of the southeast and south, the main bulwark of our existence is family. And then while we could validly argue that the herdsmen make their living by herding their cows or whatever, but at the same time, I don't think it's equitable to allow them rampage over the food crops, which is what our people depend on. There's always a misconception when people view our people as mercantilists. But our people are just traders. They are not traders. It's only a very microcosm of the society that are traders. And those ones are found in towns, they go off and do that. But the majority of our people are farmers. So that is not fair that their crops will be destroyed. So that is the way I feel about it. And then the grazing bill that is mooted shouldn't be allowed to stand because it will really hit up the polity. Except if we have made up our minds to go our separate ways. So that's how I see.
Yeah, talking about a vigilante group set up by the Abia state government, but the truth is that the herdsmen, as seen around, they parade with AK-47. The vigilante group being set up by the governor of Abia state, they are not armed. How would they face, in case of a reoccurrence, how would they face people with such dangerous weapons?
Well, they will start in speech in time saves time. We have delayed for so long, and that is why we are having it being very cancerous. You understand what I mean?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so if we had nipped it in the bud early enough, we wouldn't have resulted to this. Remember that immediately after the war in 1970, a decree was promulgated known as Robbery and Firearms Act.
Yes.
Which prohibited every able-bodied man from having a weapon, from having a machete and things like that. So So in obedience to that law, most of our people were stripped naked of their means of defense, and that is why it has always been very easy for somebody to come in, rampage, and then kill a householder and his family like that. If we have been allowed, like we used to know, we have people from Moka, we have people from Agolo and all that, who are blacksmiths of world renown. If we had that, at least a man should have a double barrel in his house to prevent himself. Self-defense is the best form of defense. If you jettison and you keep all your defense in the hands of an external body, the external body may or may not come to your aid when you are really in danger. So that's what I believe, that it was really sad, a sad commentary that we were shun of all means of defense, which made it very easy for us to be run over like that. So that is what not only the Abia State governor, all the governors of the contiguous states should evolve means of self-defense to at least police our boundaries and make sure that before anybody comes in, we have adequate notice of that, and then monitor the number of cows coming in and all that. The cows even should not be allowed in. Most of the foreign countries that I went to and all that, like US and all that, they have people, very rich people, that have ranches. Their ranches, they stay in Texas and all these places, and when they're there, they don't allow the cows or whatever to start roaming all over the place. They go and buy the fodder, buy the paddock and all that, and then make sure that their cattle is fed. So that's why you have feeds. People that have people will have poultry. We have poultry farms, but if you even forget about the cows, if you think of even the chicken and allow all chicken in the east to start roaming the streets, nobody will become comfortable, and not to talk of the disease that it will portend. So that's what I feel.
Yeah, when I spoke with the Arewa Consultative Forum's chairman, in the person of Alhaji Ibrahim Kumasi, who is also the Sardana of Katsina, he said the way out would be for the grazing bill, to become a law. Do you agree with that?
No, I'm diametrically opposed to that, because I don't think that will be the solution. If you have a grazing bill, it should be a grazing bill in the area of the industry. If you are setting up a coal mine, you set it propinquity to the source of raw materials, or propinquity to the source of labor. So if the occupation of the people in the north is cow herding, then they should have the grazing, very big grazing ranches in the north. Very big ranches, it doesn't really matter. They could have subventions to make them survive. Then in areas that are not cultivated in the south, they could pasture the grass, cut the grass, turn them into fodder, and then send it to them. They come here, buy it. It's a private business. That's my feeling about it. You can't take a grazing a ranch and go and put it in Yenagua. Where will it be? Which is a sea area. You can't put it. Where would you put a grazing a ranch in Yenagua or River State?
And one thing again that people have been asking questions about is about the fact that right now, with the attack, there seem to be a kind of decoration of names. What I've been telling others as I call it beatification, because when I spoke with Chief Dozier Ike Dife, he mentioned categorically, that the people behind what happened were none other people than the House of Fulanese. That is like people from the north not coming forth with the word to at least identify the people doing this thing. When now, even the press, the Nigerian press, they are talking about herdsmen. Why is it that all of a sudden people are being they are being scared. Even when I interviewed the very day this incident happened, that I spoke with the commissioner of police of Enugu State. He wasn't coming forth with a name to identify the people who did this. So why is it that all of a sudden people are being scared of calling a spade a spade?
What is this? We fall back on the Igbo proverb, it is Ozemena. Go to Ozemena and fixate ourselves on Ozemena. If we start expecting him to call names, it might be that the people behind the whole expedition are people he cannot even talk to. So let us spare him. He's doing his work, but what we should do as a people is to arrange ourselves, be self-defensive enough as to not to allow a reoccurrence.
Well, okay, your name is trending now. In fact, in all social media this morning, I woke up, I saw all sorts of things being written about you, and honestly, I would say it is most unfortunate. But a statement credited to you by Sun newspaper says that you said Biafra could be achieved within 1 week. Could you please explain what you meant by that?
Yes, it's possible. You find out the motto of Nigeria is unity and faith. The most important aspect of it is unity. What is behind our push for self-determination is the lack of cohesion and unity among the Igbos. You see, and as I said, those things were offshoots of my father being away from Nigeria immediately after the war. Remember, for 3 years from 1967 to 1970, he was the only voice which the Igbos listened to and hear.
Right, true.
And like Chino Achebe said, he was the falconer.
Yes.
Whose voice the falcon listened to.
Yes.
So when he left, there was a lacuna. And it was because if he had been around and then God spared him, he would have insisted, okay, you have stayed there for 3 years, we have managed our economy, or we are managing our economy, however bad or the economy was, but we are managing it. Stay here, don't go back to Sokoto, don't go back to all this, don't go back to all that. Then people would have listened to him because he was the falconer.
Yes.
And the falcon was bound to listen to him. But his upliftment, his uprooting from the immediate poverty to Abidjan, to Ivory Coast, meant that the Igbos for some time didn't have direction.
Right.
And that was what led to so many people rushing back. And with the rushing back and with what happened with the war, the investment was tripled, quadrupled, and even quintupled. So when those things happened, we now started being committed more in terms of investment. But if there had been a voice to which they listened in 1970 and it says remain here, most of the after-war investments would have been in the East. And this atrophy, taxism, that's you go towards a particular place will be less pungent than what it is today.
But why is it that right now, as I'm talking to you, a certain group and individuals that are having problems with what you said, and they are calling you all kinds of names, and one of the things they keep they're calling you all kinds of names in the book. I am talking about a group known as IPOB, because last 3 days I spoke with one of the donors and sponsors of IPOB here in New York, and having spoken with General Achuzie, the ones in London, Dr. Chukuemeka Ikemba, and the barrister there, I was made to understand that the IPOB that is all over the whole place now. It's not the original IPOB. And when I spoke with Chief Dozier, he also said the same thing. The man here in New York also. The man.
I have since the passing of my father, I've handled so many cases. And one thing I did was that I learned from one of the cases. There are what we call dicta and dictum. That is a wise saying from the judges. So one of the victims, listen attentively, he says that when your present and your future appears to be better than somebody else, the person ultimately will always talk about your past. That is, people talk about your past. When you know, things are supposed, what I laid down were facts. I did not abuse anybody. I did not start calling people father's name or I just stated the facts the way they are, and that's the truth. So once you state the truth, you will not have any headache, and I've stated the truth. Then why should there be an abuse? Once there is an abuse talking about one's past, it comes on, there is a slight perception that the person is better than theirs. That's why they resort to abuse. They don't have superior argument to counter what I have said. Then secondly, there is another victim which says, why do people tell lies? You know, in the court they will tell you that I swear in the name of the Almighty God to say the truth and nothing but the truth. Telling you, driving home to you the importance that is attached to veracity and truth. So then why do people tell lies? People tell lies when they are overcome by an almost irresistible urge to steal or to cheat. So once somebody tells a lie, it means that person wants to steal and cheat. But we know, whichever emotions it is, we know that a court of competent jurisdiction properly set up will not allow lies to defeat truth. So in the whole write-up, they said I went to a political rally at Onitsha and all that. I was at Holy Trinity, I was hiding in and all that. The first thing somebody should do is to go and find out whether I actually attended that rally. Then if I did not attend it, why would they lie instead of saying the truth? They are lying because they are under a compulsion to cheat and to steal. So that's just all.
And the question people are asking is, if this group led by Nnamdi Kanu would have continue with this public lynching of illustrious Igbo sons and daughters, if let's just say, if your late father, a man we all know as our hero, if he were to be alive and seeing what is going on today, people even say this group might do the same thing they're doing to you and to others to him.
Yes, it's because of the pecuniary interest. They're receiving the poor masses to collect their money. I have been there, as far as I'm concerned, I'm a third generation billionaire in my family. My grandfather left 10 million pounds in 1966. Had money. He made plainly. He didn't, no accusation, no allusion of corruption or stealing anywhere. He left his 10 million pounds and is intact. If you work that 10% compound interest now, you know what it means. Yes. So being that being the case, it is not because I'm the tallest man. It's not because I'm the most handsome man. Then ask yourself, why did God, in all his wisdom, decided to make a useless me? The first son of that, the first in the line in that legacy. So that is the way it is. So I have no reason. I told them when we were going to court, I said, I'm not going to charge you any money. I'm not charging anybody any money because I cannot bear to collect money from poor people I see and I know how they suffer during the war. How can I ask them for money to prosecute what? Now all the contributions they've been making and all that, where is the money? Where is the money? So that's the situation. And because once you bring out the truth goes to damn their source of illegal funds. That's why they react very vociferously and violently. That's why they do that. My father left a reputation, and the reputation he left was that everywhere you go, they say he fought the war with his father's money. Is it not true?
It's true. It's true.
Yes, I will never fight any war. I will never champion any cause with the mood of the masses, because it is a negation of the basic principles on which he stood.
It's true. So, one thing again is this. When I spoke with Colonel, a man popularly known as Hannibal during the war, a lot of us grew up to know about him. He said he demands for unconditional release of Nnamdi Kanu. Do you agree with his position on that?
He demands for what?
The unconditional release of Nnamdi Kanu from the federal government of Nigeria.
If the government can accept that, well, no problem. But as far as I'm concerned, the position of the government is that he committed an offense. And when they are offense, government, DPA, Attorney General, or whoever is saying somebody has committed an offense, the next thing you do is let the trial be done speedily. Then when the trial is done, you exhaust their appellate ladder up to Supreme Court. And when that is done, then the leaders of Ohanese and everyone can go, say, please kneel down for the president. The only thing the court will have is what they call prerogative of mercy. Yes, Awolowo was sentenced for treason, yeah? Was he not?
He was.
And he was taken to Calabar prison. He was there, he was sentenced for 10 years, but he was there barely 2 years, and he came out and became minister for finance. Yes. So you see, there are ways you do it. The government is saying this person has committed an offense. Then what you have to do is, let's have a trial. You don't go and say you demand from conditional release. On what basis? What if the son of the Sultan of Sokoto commits an offense? Then the Sultan will now come down and also say unconditional release. He's making a mockery of the whole system.
Well, and I'm happy that you, as a man, we all respect. You are a leader we all respect, and it is, like I said, very unfortunate for people to wake up this morning and begin to read all sorts of things written about you by people who probably were not even born when the war, the Biafran war, was fought, and when you're.
How can I say that? I was born in 1956 and I fought in the war, so I know about the one that most of them talk.
No, I mean those who are attacking you right now. They were generation born after the Civil War who knew nothing about the war, other than what they were told. So I think it is most unfortunate for them to caricature your name and make it seem as if you are not the true son of your father. I think I think it's bizarre when I read that press release, and for all the Nigerian media that gave them what I would call the podium to put whatever they put out, I think the Nigerian media should be ashamed of themselves, because from all indication, one, we don't need anybody to tell us anymore that this group, what it stands for, and for the fact that the illustrious dignitaries that I have interviewed in the last 2 weeks have stated that Nnamdi is not the leader of IPOB. So I don't know what you have said that others have not said, and what they should be coming after you in this.
The thing is that they want to muzzle me, and you don't muzzle somebody. The most unfortunate thing that can happen to our people is for people to be led into tragedy again. It's not fair. So most of us that still have conscience, we have to tell them the truth the way it is. For instance, when you look at the trial the way it's going, I think you understand. Yes. If the trial is delayed today, it is not because of the government. It is because of their saying we don't want this judge to be there and we don't want this to be there. I think you understand.
Yes.
Yeah, but if you had allowed the trial to go on, and maybe after the trial they say, okay, they convict. Don't you know you can use the fact that they did certain things to appeal and then get the judgment overturned?
You're right.
This is the best way to do it. If they said, okay, look, we are going to, a clever lawyer will say, okay, if they said they are going to put masquerade on the witnesses, okay, I'm sorry, let's ask God, please, come and do it. Then make sure you take pictures of the masquerade. Then by the time they finish the trial, you go and appeal that look, people did not give witnesses. So, that's one of the grounds that we are saying that the judgment was wrong. You circulate it to the international community, and from the trial, you both abroad and locally. People will say that's not a very good judgment. And that's all. Then for you to say no, let's go and appeal. Appeal will take you the next 1 year. Maybe after the thing does not turn out fine, you go to Supreme Court and take another 2 years. And later you say the government is delaying.
Well, people are even looking at the whole thing. People are looking at the whole delay and all the tactics and all the attacks on Buhari. People are looking at it as an attempt by those who are Nnamdi's lieutenant to remain relevant while he's there. People are really saying. Yeah, they're saying that maybe those people are working against his release because whoever comes out, is labeled. They call them all sorts of names.
The problem is that Nnamdi himself, if you were to meet him and talk to him, he's like a son to me. He's like a son to me. When I got to London, he came to me 2 times. In America, when there is an argument of rape or anything, or even stalking or somebody stalking somebody, I think you understand.
Yes, please.
The first question they ask you, who came onto each other? Then the girl will now say, he came onto me. Then now say, you're the one looking for trouble. I was sitting in my house, in my hotel room in London. He came to me. And I was in my house in Lagos, and he came to me. So I see him as a Virginia brother. I cannot, for any reason, mislead him. Or because we have known each other and all that, then if he's doing wrong, I will, because of that, keep silent and not tell the people that this thing is not good. So that's the situation.
But it's lieutenant.
Everybody now calls me. One record I have is that I have never organized the press conference. Journalists come to me. And when they ask me a question, I tell the truth. The reason why I tell the truth is that so that tomorrow I will not be caught for telling lies. Yes.
Wow. And another argument.
Yes.
Another argument is lieutenants are putting up because they sent me a video. One of them sent me a video where they said Nnamdi was installed as the leader of Biafra. I don't know whether you have seen that video. They said the Biafran veterans actually gave him the mantle of leadership.
No, the matter there is not giving the mantle of leadership. The thing is, there was an organization headed by Justice Wood, and you were part and parcel of that organization. And you submitted yourself to the sovereignty, the over-dominion of that organization. Then all of a sudden, because somebody wrote a petition to you, and then the organization said, come and reply to that petition. That you cannot be shouting that Nigeria is corrupt only to move up to create a Biafra which is now corrupt. Everybody must be accountable. And the next thing he did, he said he has dismissed the elders. Is that how he did? Then he started doing all these things. And the next thing, people said they gave him a mantle of leadership. Okay, the mantle of leadership, those people who are telling you veterans are now with, when they realize their mistakes, they are now back with Dozie and everybody. So that none of them will now tell you that they still regard him as their leader. So that's the way it is. Even if we want to change the old man, there are procedures. The old man must be there. But look, on basis of senility, on basis of non-performance or whatever, that we want a more dynamic leader, and that will be discussed. It may not be any other person. If he falls down, everybody will respect him. But for you to go and say that a man of 80-something years that you dismissed him, it's so insolent.
Yes.
You say you dismissed him and that then you assume the leadership and say that he should now come and be under you. Even the common Igbo, pedestrian Igbo will tell you, but they are making it. So those are the things. So you don't go and do that. Even if it's like somebody having a cabinet, then somebody is a commissioner for information. Then commissioner of information, because he's the one being heard all the time, he now turns around and takes over the government. Yeah. That is not good. It's not in my character, and I don't do that. It was the same thing that led to the war, was it not?
Yes. Yes.
It was the same thing. My father said, if Europe is not there, the next thing should take over. You must follow order. Things must be orderly for things to work. If he had said, okay, look, it's time for an election, let us among us elect and know whether this man is still capable or myself. Yeah, we arrange an election for them. Not to go and get a group of people in the forest and say they are giving you mantle of leadership. Then after getting the mantle of leadership, you went to a hotel in New York or somewhere and said you got a staff and said they'll give you half of office. No, that is not, those things are done in the open because it involves the people.
Well, for those of you who are just joining us all over the world, I've been speaking with Chief Debe. Chief Debe Ojukwu is the first son of Chukuemeka Odimegwu Ojukwu. Honestly, you all know who the great man is, and I don't need to make any introduction. He was the leader of the Biafran nation, and a man who, when he talked, when he was alive, all Igbos listened to him. His words were words that every one of us respected. We all, honestly, he was our father and the man who meant well for our freedom. But he died, and everything that is going on now, a lot of people are asking, were he alive, would all this thing happen? So I have his first son on the phone, and he's based in Lagos. He's a legal practitioner. So, sir, what is your advice to all the Igbo youths and all the people listening to you from all parts of the world right now? What is your advice? Which way out? Which way is the way out of this, what I would personally call the quagmire, especially within the eastern axis?
Well, the safety valve is unity. We must be united. Those sheep that strayed must come back to the fold. Be amenable to the elderly people. My General Achubi was my father's best friend, apart from being a comrade in arms. So much so that when the war was about ending, it was General Achubi that he instructed to go and make sure that his own mother, you know, the sentiments were attached to mother, was evacuated. And yes, and everything. And even when he came back from exile, I was with General Achubi in the compound. He was the only one that was with him in the compound when he came back. So I cannot go to General Achubi and say, who are you? What can you do? You see, let you come, let me lead you, and all that. Even if he offered it, I will not accept it, or which he has done many times. But that is not for me. You must obey the elders. You must respect the elders. Nobody says you cannot shout and do all this. You can shout, but still do it under the auspices of the elders. It is more decent. That's all. So we should come together, unite. When we unite, what we are looking for, we get it. I started my theme at the beginning of this interview was unity. And I also want to end it with unity. The problem is unity everywhere. Once we are able to forge that united front, we have no problem anywhere.
Okay, one last thing people are asking, even as I'm talking to you, I'm getting feedbacks, is that they're saying that the Igbo leaders failed them. Do you agree with that? That the leaders failed them, and for that reason, you have people like Nnamdi taking up and taking over from where they stopped, according to the feedbacks that I'm getting. How do you react to that?
It is subjective. You cannot arrogate to yourself that power to join them, and then decide that they have failed, and decide the time to come and impose yourself on the people. You don't do that. You still give them a time. Have you confronted them with that? Have you done that? Negotiation would have been easier, more facile, and more seamless with those elders than any of these boys you see on the road. they cannot go anywhere and negotiate because ultimately the negotiation will be among the elders.
So for the Igbo nation, who do we look up to, or who do they look up to as the voice? Because the Yorubas, the Hausas, they all have one voice. I spoke with the Ohanes and Igbo President General, even the Secretary General too. But it's like, even within the associations, there have been factions. You have different groups in Igbo land. But unlike the Yorubas...
That is what we have to coalesce. We have to coalesce it, and we have to coalesce it under the ZKD. Because the ZKD has once been the president of Ohanes. So it will be easy for him now to rectify the younger people in Ohanes. Then General Akizera once been the secretary of Ohanes. So it's also easy for him to reach to the department and get things done. The Republican nature of Igbos conducive that no single person may be dominant. Must always be a triumvirate or a group of people.
Wow. All right, but on your own part, for a long time, I haven't been hearing much about you. What you it's like you decided to choose a very private, very silent line. Why is this so? Your late father was prominent. We all hear about him speaking all the time. But maybe because those of us out here...
He was not prominent. Prominence was thrust on him. Because if you check, up to the point he became a lieutenant colonel, he was just the quartermaster general doing his job, and there was nothing. It was when that prominence was thrust on him, that was when everybody knew his capabilities. The same thing applies with me. I don't need to come. If you had not interviewed me today, you would not have had my own viewpoint.
But as a leader, in times like these, you don't think you should be speaking more often so that people at least would hear?
I speak when I'm asked. I don't jump into for my voice to be heard. As many times as you call me and you need some clarification, if I have them, I will oblige you. But for me to start calling you and telling you that, look, I have something to say, I mean, it's very modest, and I will never do that.
Well, so, and I want to thank you so much for speaking with us in the last almost 40 minutes, for giving us your time. I know you're a very busy man, and like you said, we'll be talking with you. Yeah, we'll be talking to you from time to time, and God bless you for us, and may God keep you for us.
Anytime. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.